Hey, everybody, it's another episode of Black College Experience. I'm super excited about today's show. It seems like I'm doing Tuesday shows on a regular because I got a different time zone than everybody I seem to be interviewing. But I'm super excited about this interview today. Listen, this is one coach, no matter when I ask him to do an interview, to do a side conversation, it's the first person I interview at SIAC Media Day every single time. I remember interviewing this coach and his staff during COVID. We had to bring him back. Listen, we had to bring him back. I'm not going to delay it because I know he got a lot to prepare for. He got a big opponent that he's playing this week, but none other than the Lane Dragons coach, Coach Vyron Brown. We're going to go ahead and bring Coach on.
Hey, how you doing?
Coach, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Great day here in Jackson, Tennessee at Lane College. How you doing today, Miss Kelly?
I'm tired, but I am so happy that you joined us today. Thank you so kindly. Like I said, I know you got a lot that y'all are preparing for, and we'll get into that a little later on in the interview with the opponent that you're preparing for. But over at Lane College, I know it's pretty exciting. I always call you the SWAT guy in
Yeah.
the SIAC because I know a lot of your work was in the SWAC. I know it's where a lot of your work was. And y'all, if y'all did not know, he is a Grambling grad. Okay. But we gonna act like that's not important today. I'm gonna let him have his moment, even though he graduated from Grambling. It's all right. But a lot of people, when I start talking about this interview, a lot of people had a lot of, a lot of great stuff to say about it. They all come and say Grambling, Grambling. I was like, listen, he really is one of my favorites. I'm just gonna say that he's one of my favorites in the SIAC. So, Coach, we'll hop right into it. This journey at Lane. Before we get to this journey at Lane, let's start at where you were before you actually got to Lane.
I actually was at Grambling High School named Lincoln Prep. I was there for 2 years as assistant head coach and the offensive coordinator, and I had the responsibility of teaching three middle school science classes every day. After that, I would leave and go down to the weight room, and I ran the weight room and scheduling for kids for all the athletics, middle school through high school, under the leadership of Glenn Hall, who recruited me to Grambling, and our superintendent, Mr. Ford. So that's where I was for 2 years before I actually came to Lane. And before I was at Texas Southern for 2 years. So, I can go on and on with the back of how I got here and all that. But long story short, me and A.D. Burrows worked together at Alabama State with Reggie Barlow, under Barlow, who's now the head coach with the Washington Defenders. And Coach Burrows did a quick stint there while I was there. As I was coming in, he was transitioning out to go to the XFL. They had just restarted that league to coach. And I called him about a young man named Tavion Turner that played offensive line for me at Lincoln Prep in Grambling, Louisiana. And he said, V, man, I like this film. When can you bring him up? I say, Coach, when you need him up. So lo and behold, we came up to the recruiting weekend right before signing day. And he got offered two scholarships, one to play football and one to throw the shot put in track. And I told him, I said, man, money in your hand is better than not having anything in the basket. So he called his mom, and she said, well, if it's free school, then we all for it. So we had our meeting. Coach Burrows had just let his offensive coordinator go. And he asked me, what I was doing and would I be interested. And, when he introduced me to people, he said, well, Vyron is interviewing for the offensive coordinator job. We hadn't even talked about that boy. I
On the
just
spot.
came, yeah, on the spot in front of everybody. You got over 40 different families there on the recruiting visit, a lot of people. And, I did interview over the weekend before I left. And he told me before I left, the job is mine if I wanted to take it. So I drove back to me and the young man, Tavion Turner. We drove back to Louisiana. And I had a talk with my AD and the superintendent. And they told me, well, just let us know what you decide. I said, I wanted to tell you first, and that way you won't hear it in the wind. And
Mm-hmm.
they told me just let me know what I decide because they're gonna have to fill my slot with somebody. And it was in the spring, so it's kind of hard to get somebody in the spring if by education. in the spring to fill that slot, unless they just come in as a permanent sub. But within 15 or 20 days later, I was here in Jackson, Tennessee, because with me being the offensive coordinator, I had to come in, hit the ground running to install a new offense. And that's pretty much how I got here. Did 18 and 19 as the offensive coordinator. After the 19th season, A.D. Burrow stepped down in January of 20. That's when President Hampton and A.D. Burrows officially named me the head coach.
Ooh, that's a journey.
Yeah.
That's a that is a journey. That's a lot. I know, and I see, I know you do a lot. That's where he introduced you as OC. Well, that seemed like that's where a lot of your work was. So
Mm-hmm.
I always ask, grad or not, I always ask, why HBCU? Why do
Why?
you choose, to coach HBCU? Why HBCU athletics?
Well, I'm a HBCU product. Being in Eddie Robinson last recruiting class and playing for Super Bowl MVP. Doug Williams, captain of the football team, back-to-back SWAC championships, and Grambling gave me an opportunity to play. Grambling afforded me an education with an engineering degree and a master's. Then Grambling offered me my first my internship, my part time, and a full time job. And I'm forever indebted to HBCUs, because I mean, it wouldn't be for HBCUs, I wouldn't be sitting right here right now. So I just have a love and a passion for it. Been doing it over 22 years, and I like to see young men excel. You know, we have to be their daddy, we have to be their uncle, we have to be their counselor. We have to make sure they're going to church. I mean, if you're raising someone else's kid during that 4 or 5 year span, and it makes you feel proud to see them get their life to Christ, see them grow from being an 18-year-old to a 22-year-old that's trying to do things right, to see them walk across their stage, and to see them be successful in life. I mean, you're touching more people in sports profession, especially the HBCUs, on a personal level, with helping them than being anywhere else, because we have an open door policy, and most of the time, when kids come talk to us, it's nothing that we haven't never been in before, with an experience, sit down and say, hey, this way you need to do it. And most schools don't have time to do that. They just throw a lot of the young men away, for whatever reason. And I believe in giving a young man the benefit of the doubt. Nobody's perfect in this world, and we have to stop making it seem that way. People make mistakes, and you can't hold that over a kid head uh, every time something happens. You have to show mercy and grace, because you never know down the line how you giving a kid that extra opportunity might change his life, might change his family's life, might change his child's life, and that's why I do it. If I want to do anything for the money, I'd have went into use my engineering degree as soon as I got out of college. I was offered to work with Intel on the Pentium 4 processor right out of Grambling, and I turned it down just because I wanted to stay at Grambling one more year and play ball and finish up my master's. And they asked me, the recruiter, well, if you're not going to accept the job, who would you recommend out your department? Well, the 4 people that I recommended that worked close with me in the department, they hired them, and they've been working in Portland, Oregon ever since. So, I mean, I just helping people out the gate is just a big part of what I enjoy doing, because if I was um, working at a Fortune 500 club, really, who else life am I influencing or helping besides the people that are in my intermediate circle? You know,
Correct.
um, and I think that's what it's all about. See, when you get up to the gate, the Lord gonna look at your heart, and He gonna see what did you do for me while you was here, and I'm a big component on that. Christ, school, championships, in that order.
Before I move on, Mandel Davis said, "What's up, Lil V? What's up, my guy?" He
What's up,
said,
man? How
"Lil
you
V, what's
doing?
up, my guy?"
Yeah, that
you
was,
you
that was my name at Grambling, Lil V, The Rock.
you said something that I want to go back to, and I was talking to an agent last night, and we know it's very, very, very important when we talk about recruiting. You said it. A lot of times you become the dad, you become the uncle, you become somebody that they didn't have.
Right,
And a lot of times, going into homes, it's just what it is. It's not you're not just talking to the athlete. You got to go through the mama, you got to go through
right.
the daddy, you got to go through the whole family in order to get the athlete. But you talked about one of those key things, and you talked about building those young men. You talked about church, talking about keeping them in that. What is that like? That relationship like getting them to go to church together, building that relationship amongst teammates.
Well, for us here at Lane, we are CME based Christian school, so it's not hard. It's part of the mandatory during the week that everyone attends chapel on Wednesday. But I go a step further with our football program. We have three chaplains that are local pastors in the area. Two of them are grads of Lane College who won on the championship team back in the '80s, and one is a pastor that pastors the home church right here on campus. That's a Miles graduate. So anytime we need spiritual help, spiritual guidance, those are the three guys that we look to be able to go and get a word from the Lord, a message from the Lord. They travel with us, and anything that Coach Brown can't handle from that aspect, or they don't feel comfortable talking to me about it to one of my coaches, I point them or give them the phone numbers to reach out to those men. So for me here at Lane, making sure our football team is spiritual based is very easy because of the climate and the climates of the school. I don't try to force a religion on no one, but I do let them know it is a higher power. For me, it's Jesus Christ. But some of them might be Muslims. That's why we go to different churches. Some of them might be Jehovah Witnesses. That's why we go to different churches. The way we know with our program, we have introduced those young men uh, to a higher power.
Makes sense. And so let me dig a little bit further. We all know that a lot of times with our athletes, they deal with a lot of stuff. It's you want to be the star, you're trying to stay healthy, you're trying to produce, you want to go pro, and that's male and female.
Right.
How do you deal with the mental health component of that? Because we know that's one of the things for years that has been overlooked, and it's just now coming into where we can actually talk about some of those things. And I guess I'm going back to when you said there's nothing that we haven't talked about, that haven't come to us about. How do y'all deal with the mental health portion of what athletes deal with?
Well, so when it's a mental health situation that goes on, and it's a kid, first you got to understand the kid's background, where he come from, and what is actually has happened, a transition in the kid's life before uh, they get on campus. Because sometimes kids have experiences before they get here that affect them while they're here. But to better understand that kid, you have to get close enough to the kid where they open up to you, you know. Uh, and we go about it that way. We have kids that unfortunately by the time they get to college, be lost both parents, and that's tough. A brother, somebody close to them uh, from high school that they're hung with, something happened to them bad back in their whole time. That really messes with those kids. Somebody just went to jail or did something they weren't supposed to do, and they feel like if they was there protecting them, it wouldn't have happened. And a lot of times when we talk to them, we let them know, especially when it's not something that they can control. We let them know, look, you can only control what you can control, your thoughts, your feelings, all that kind of stuff. And if it's something seriously that need to be reported outside of having a conversation with us, then we go through our protocols on campus. But most of the time it's not like that. But they want to be able to sit down and have a conversation with you and know that they can trust you, And when a kid really feels like and knows that you care about them, that's when they'll go out there and really play for you. And that's one of the things in the sport, especially with football, when you're dealing with over 100 different uh, alpha males, different personalities. I mean, you have to be strong yourself because you don't know what's gonna come through the door every day. You really don't. And you the outside looks at them, oh, that's a football player. But we can't look at these young men like that. That's why we do all we can. And that's why I really believe that this is my calling, to be a part of help structure these young men that's gonna go out in the community one day and be our leaders, be our congressmen, be our councilmen, be pastors in the community, be mentors, and that's what it's all about. Getting your education, going back here, sending one more person back to school, and try to make sure that the mistakes that you made, they don't make. That way, they won't have to keep starting over.
Now, I want to go back to that just 1 second. You said congressmen, pastors, people in the community. You have somebody, a former player that's in the NFL right now,
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Farmer.
Yeah,
So,
he just signed with the Denver Broncos today.
so, so this is a testament, and I'm going to get to the whole D1, D2 argument. This is a
Mm-hmm.
testament that you can go pro. If they want you, they're going to find you. I don't care
Correct.
where you at, what rock you hiding behind, what school you in, what building you at. If they want you, they'll find you. And since you told us he signed with the Broncos today, how proud were you when he first signed with the NFL or in the NFL?
Well, I told Andrew Farmer, and the light really came on for him during that COVID year. Uh, our school shut down. We wasn't allowed to play in our conference. We didn't have a spring season, a fall or a spring season. And I watched him from 2018 to 2022 just grow up. I'm talking about physically, mentally, and he worked on his skill set every day. I call him Top Dragon for a reason because every day when he came to work, he laid it all on the line, whether it was in the weight room, whether it was in conditioning, whether it was coming early before practice, whether it was leaving, staying late after practice, and he handled it uh, like a business. I told him in 2020, before during the COVID time, I say, son, only reason why you don't make it is because yourself. I say nobody in this conference can block you. So the next year we played Pine Bluff. He realized what I was saying. I say they can't block you. They started double teaming. The next year we played Pine Bluff again. They still couldn't block him. I say, man, you gonna listen to me. Then lo and behold, we go and play Tennessee State. And the team is of that caliber is sending two people to block him every play, and he's still making the play. So once he's seen his potential of what he can do, he maximized everything here at Lane College. And the sky's still limit for him. He hasn't maxed out yet, to be honest with you. We don't have all the resources here to the sleds and all the weight room stuff, the speed coach, the five strength coaches, the meal plan, the recovery plan. We don't have that here. So, but what we do have, he maxed it all out while he was here. It was some other ones that were right along with him that I felt like, from being at Grambling, Alabama State, and Texas Southern, that those kids could have played at that level. And that's what I told them. When we get an opportunity to play those schools, you got to perform like you've been there. And lo and behold, every time we played, we was right there in the game, you know.
And that's one of the things that I want to go into. So many times I see the argument with D1, D2, and I always say, even at the end of the day, it's still X's and O's. You still got to play football. You still got to play the game. And we can see that, if we want to use a comparison in the SWAC and the SIAC, we can see that there have been some upsets with SIAC schools versus SWAC schools. We can see in these last couple of weeks how schools have struggled. And so, what do you tell your athletes? Because I always say, to me, it's still, I don't look at it as D1, D2. I still just say it's X's and O's. It's still football. It's, they're D2 schools are going to come and give you everything they have. When you think you rested and relaxing, they're going to give you everything they got, and they're going to catch you slipping every single time. That's how I look at it. But do you have any athletes that ever say, hey, there's an aspiration to go D1, or look at D1 as a lower level football? I'm sorry, D2 as a lower level football. I'm sorry. Or
Well,
non-competitive, not lower level. Let me say non-competitive.
well, a lot of kids, everybody wants to be D1 Power 5. And I tell them, I mean, you can be D1 Power 5, but does that school want you? You can chase the pretty girl, but if the pretty girl don't want you, and this okay girl over here like you, I think you need to go with the one that like you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how we present Lane College. We want you. We can develop you. We can get you where you want to be. We have coaches on our staff that have long resumes with outstanding experience. Uh, and the D1, D2 things, a lot of this with some of these young men, with these NLI deals and all this kind of stuff, it ain't about playing football. It's about getting the money. You know,
Correct.
uh, you know they boosted up the D1 scholarships to over 100. 100 kids ain't gonna play football in one season. Ain't gonna happen. You know,
That's
and
one
it's
thing.
taken, yeah, and that's taken away from kids that could be here in D2 playing football that's gonna miss out on getting developed to get themselves an opportunity to play at the next level. See, I would rather be at a D2 getting developed, getting reps, getting film than saying, hey, I'm third and fourth string at a Power 5 school and I ain't got no film. I got practice film. It don't roll like that in the NFL. You know, so we went through this situation. I mean, been going through it since I've been coaching. I had kids in the state of Louisiana would rather sit on the bench at another college for 4 years than come be a starter for us at Grambling. So it's just the mindset of the family and who the kid is listening to, and do they really desire to play college football? And you got to really want to play college football to put the helmet on every week. So yeah, a lot of situations we're outman because of scholarships. I'm sitting at 18, 21 scholarships. All the rest of the D2s that matter, that are winning, they had a full allotment of 36. Well, you move over to the SWAC, their scholarships in the 60s. Then you go up Power 5. Now you talking about they're in the hundreds. They went from the 80s to being in the hundreds. I mean, of course the playing ground for scholarships and resources are not level at all. But your development, if you get up on the right coach, your development is what it's all about. You can be at that big school, but if you ain't getting developed, you're not playing, it don't matter.
Correct. And I mean, and just sitting on a, because we see it happen all the time. So many people would rather just sit on the bench because of the name of a school. They see a name of a school, a name of a program, like you said, D1 Power 5, and they think, hey, but it, like you said, if you only got practice film, it's a waste of time, because when you go into the NFL, you competing with everybody else in the world that want that spot just like you do. And so
Correct.
it's not like you just playing your teammate. Everybody want
Right.
that same spot. So
Right.
you got to be super competitive. But like you said, if you get under the right coach, again, like I was saying earlier, if they want you, they will find you. So no matter where
Absolutely.
you are, they will find you.
Yeah. I mean, we have pro day here at Lane just like everybody else.
Correct.
If not, then we make contact with a school in the area, and if the NFL has a guy, we have a guy that the NFL is interested in that they want to see work out. That's your shot.
putting them in a position to be great. You putting them in a position to be great, giving them all opportunities. So now, I know there's been a lot of great things happening in Lane, and we always get into this predictive order of finish because they always predict y'all in one place. You always finish at another place, and I always say it's just a matter of just proving the point. You just go out there and play the game. But over the weekend, y'all had a big win over Benedict. Talk about that win that y'all had.
And it was a long bus trip, I tell you that. From Jackson, Tennessee to South Carolina, 10 to 12 hours one way. Then the same thing coming back. So we got a lot of rest. It wasn't comfortable rest, but we got a lot of rest on the bus going down. And then when we got to South Carolina, we ate dinner. We had a meeting, and I sent them to bed. Wasn't no sense of going to practice, because their legs was already tired. You know, uh, we hadn't beat Benedict since 2019, my second year here, and we didn't play in 2020, of course, and then in 21 was the last time we went down there. And actually, I reminded the kids, hey, we were 6-3 going into this game against Benedict, and I think we lost 30-34. Um, and that would have been us being 7-3, our first year of me being actually the head coach. And I told him, I said, we owe Benedict. I said, y'all seniors on the team, y'all never beat Benedict before, and their mindset was just on fight, focus, and finish, and the moment wasn't too big, coming out that Jackson State game, everybody on the team still was in good spirits. Even though we lost the game, uh, we did some good things, in that game from our aspect. And I told them, I said, that's the best D line, that's the best team we're gonna see all season. And they took that fourth quarter, the way we performed, the last drive we scored, we took that and brought it straight to Benedict, and our seniors was coming off the field, say, Coach, we beat them. We finally beat them. I say, I told y'all we was gonna beat them. Just do what we're supposed to do and believe, and our kids, they never got rattled. Even when the score went back and forth a couple of times, nobody panicked. They was all poised. They was communicating. They played together as a team, and it really wasn't no distractions. Sometimes you might have a kid spaz out and uh, get in their head, get in their feelings, and affect some of the other kids. But we was all one team, one heartbeat. Played one football game, and the Lord blessed us to be victorious. So anytime you can get on the road and go to South Carolina and beat the defending champs, that says a lot about your program. From our point of view.
Now, Coach Brown, can you kind of expand the slogan you just said? Fight, focus, finish. Where did that come
F3,
from? And how did you
F3,
get them? You said what?
F3. That's us for this year. F3.
F
Fight,
three.
focus, and finish. And I came up with that. I was meditating one day, and before the season, well, we started saying it this spring in the weight room. That's when it all started. Uh, Man, we lost 5 games last year by single digits, 2 by 3, 2 by 7, and 1 by 6. And I said, these young men are coming back to still play. And I had some kids graduate that came back to play. I say, Lord, give me something to feed their stomach on from the football standpoint. And he just gave it to me. Fight, focus, and finish. And that's exactly the way we've been carrying ourselves this spring and fall.
How did you get them to buy into that? Fight, focus, finish.
Well, I mean, if you in there at 5 o'clock in the morning, you must want to be there, right? I don't have to make you come to the weight room at 5 to be there to start on time for 6 o'clock. So evidently you love football. You want to be there. So it's not hard to talk to these kids. And part of being a head coach, you got to be a motivator. And that's something that I do on a daily basis. Motivate the kids, encourage the kids, coach the kids up, give them something positive to take back to their room that night and think about, and all the great coaches did it. Coach Melvin Spears is one of the greatest motivators in the game, and he was our offensive coordinator at Grambling, then became the head coach, and I worked close with Coach Spears. Michael Roach and Chris Scott, great motivators. We didn't win our first championship to 2000 to Chris Scott, D-line coach, which he's coaching linebackers now at Southern University. When he left Tennessee State and came and joined the Grambling coaching staff when he was playing to be the D-line coach. And the first day when he walked in, he gave us a motivational speech. He pulled out like 4 or 5 SWAC championship rings and was showing the tools. And he was talking that talk and walking that walk. I say, yeah, boy, we about to win this year because the chemistry of your coaching staff and everybody was saying the same thing, walking the same way. Same thing with Heights Northern, who was our defensive back coach. He was my running back coach for the first 2 years till he moved over to defense. He's a Southern graduate that played up under Pete Richardson. So all of them was saying the same thing and everything clicked for us. So that's where I get that from. You got to have some swag. I mean, one of the best noise talkers in the business is Dare Asbury, and I don't work with him 3 or 4 times. And every time we get together, something good happens. At Shaw, then we work together at Texas Southern. So all those guys are really SWAT guys, and we bring a little bit from the Graham and the Southern and Jackson State aspect. All that is a part of me.
So I know this weekend you're preparing for Miles.
Correct.
How excited are the guys for this game? Because I know you just coming off a win, but that win is for the moment, and then you get right back to work. How excited are they in the preparation for Miles College?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. On Monday, they was in there studying film by themselves. They was studying film by themselves, and that's a testament of the leadership and the character on this team, where your leaders on the team can pull guys together and say, "Hey, let's watch film. Hey, let's get on the jug machine. Hey, let's go to the weight room and do some extra stretching. Hey, let's get out here and work on our time." And that's just a testimony to them want to be a winner. Everybody on this team that's back from last season know us leaving off the field being 2-8 wasn't right. It wasn't right, and we were better than that. And those 5 close games that we lost, I told them we got to get our lick back. So that's our mindset. So actually they ready to go to practice right now.
Do they have practice today?
Yes, we look. As soon as I get through with you, I'm walking out there on the field.
Oh, my bad, guys.
No, we good. I told them I had to come in here and represent the brand of the college and promote the school, because this gonna help somebody else come want to be a part of Lane College, whether it's a football player, whether it's a basketball player, or just regular student. You have to be an ambassador for your college. Every time you get the opportunity.
Now, let me ask you, is there any particular player that you guys are focused or studying film on from Miles anybody that you're concerned about?
Well, I mean, they got a host of guys. I got my scout report. I got my notes. I'll just give you a little rundown of guys that we're keen on. The first guy is you're gonna have to start with Andrews, number one. I don't know if he's hurt right now. I'm talking about the wide receiver or what's going on, but you have to always account for him. They're gonna try to get him the ball some kind of way. Then they got a running back, number 3. Does an outstanding job at running the ball and catching passes. Got another receiver, number 11. Then a tight end, number 13. And then the quarterback is a transfer from Alcorn. So those are the guys that our defense and number 7 is going to be focused on. They make their offense go. I know they lost to West Alabama and Bama State, but Sam Shade has been doing a good job and the staff of putting together good quality football program to represent Miles College. And I was glad to see him being have some success last year. Then on the defensive side of the ball, um, they D linemen, number 15, number 2, and number 4. Those are going to be the guys that we're going to have to neutralize up front with our offensive line and control them in our pass. I mean, in our run game. Adrian Hardy, number 10, has 18 tackles on the season. He's their lead tackle. Look like to me he's kind of one of the. I don't know if he's the captain, but he looks like a leader out there on the defense. The way he's directing everybody on the defense. Then number 23 from the safety spot, he will come up and hit. So our guys have been doing the film study and they're locked in, they focus. No distractions this week, no distractions, and one day at a time. And that's the approach that we're taking with Miles College. They beat us last year out the gate in Memphis, and they had a lot of new recruits. I mean, transfers that we didn't know about. But I think everybody on their roster right now, we have a good beat on.
Okay, so you did. You said a lot, and it is, and I'm glad that you're locked in to kind of see what's going on. Now I know because I know they out there waiting to practice. I know they waiting. So let me ask you, where do you see this Lane team, the Lane Dragons? Let's say in the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, but I'm gonna start with 5 years. Where do you see? And not even just I'm saying, okay, this particular set, but where do you see Lane College football in the next 5 to 10 years?
Short term plan, 5 years. I still see us continue to grow as a program. I see people's alumni and people in the community starting to give back to help the program get the things that they need. See the young men that come in this program have a spirit-based life, graduate in 4 to 5 years, and I see this program at the end of the day win the SIAC championship. The kids put the work in. And like I tell them, they deserve to win just like us. It's who makes the less mistakes during the ball game and capitalize on the moment. So in 5 years, yeah, that's what I see for this program, and to keep the development and the Dragons going.
You gonna still be there?
Hey, stuff change every day.
I know. And I do. One person I know in particular, of course, is Tyshawn Gaither. Funny story is that's a long history. His aunt and I know their whole family, literally. Right. So that means I know him since he was literally a baby. But went to middle school, high school, all of that with his. So it's over 25 years worth of friendship with his aunt. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna get into the last part of this, and this before I'll let you go. It's called the hot seat. You just got to either answer one or the other. You can't think about it, coach. You just got to answer one or the other.
I can be politically correct, though.
Somebody said alumni in the community definitely needs to support Lane athletics. I agree.
Thank you.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First one that come to mind. Flats or drums?
Flats.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Ranch.
Gumbo or etouffee?
Gumbo.
Crawfish or crab legs?
I'm going with the crawfish.
Chicken or fish?
Always chicken.
Crawfish boil or barbecue?
Oh, crawfish boil, most definitely.
Spring or fall?
Fall. My birthday in October.
October what?
13.
Oh, okay. You doing the homecoming season. You're a homecoming baby.
That's right. That's right.
City or country?
I like to see the skyline, so I'm gonna say the city.
Okay. What's your favorite place to visit?
H-Town.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Tea or water?
If I'm at practice, it's water.
You did say you can be politically correct, so we'll accept that. What's the furthest place you've visited?
Bahamas.
And what's the furthest place you lived away from Lane, I would say?
Uh, I mean, Jackson, Tennessee is the furthest. I mean, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana,
Okay.
so Jackson, Tennessee is no. I'm telling the story. Raleigh, North Carolina. How can I forget that?
They don't even remember where he lived at. It's okay.
Hey,
Just
concussion,
want me to stop.
all them tackles, taking them licks.
Little Beaver forgot where he been.
Yeah, Shaw University. Shaw University. 2008, we won the CIAA championship, averaged 42 points a game. Darren Asbury was our head coach. I was the associate head coach, offensive coordinator, and Bullware, who was just at Alabama A&M, was our defensive coordinator. We had an outstanding staff. Also, Robert Massey, who's the head coach at Winston-Salem. He was our DB and special teams coordinator. So we had a great staff doing that run up in Raleigh, North Carolina at Shaw University.
When he forgot where he lived.
I forgot. It was,
all that great stuff that he blocked out.
Hey, it was too cold up there. Ooh-wee.
Final question. What's the best football team in all of HBCU football or all football altogether?
Most definitely, Lane College.
Gotta say it.
Gotta say it.
I want to thank you so much for joining Black College Experience tonight. I want to thank you for highlighting your program and just sharing with us some of what's going on with Lane College and talking about former players and talking about your journey getting to Lane. There has been so much that has happened, but there has been some success. And we know that scores don't always indicate what's going on both sides of the ball. We know, as I can see, OC, it's a lot going on. And so I'm excited to see what happens with the rest of the season. And I always like to look back at the predictive order of finishes. Then I like to laugh because they're never a lot, 9 times out of 10, they're not right. So again, I want to thank you for joining us. If you want to leave us with where people can follow Lane, how to support Lane.
On my Lane College Athletics, and that Lane College Athletics, and I think that's for the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Facebook. Then also Vyron Brown 31 on Twitter and X, and then just Lane College football. That's how you can follow us and keep up with what's going on with our programs in football and all other programs in our athletic department.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Brown. Good luck this weekend. And you'll have to come back on. We'll have to get, because I know every time I ask you, you'll be like, yeah. So you're the only one. I don't care when I ask. I don't care what's going on. I can always depend on you to say, yep, I'll do an interview. But I do appreciate you taking time out, knowing that you're preparing for a big game and those athletes out there waiting. So good luck to them and good luck to y'all this weekend, Coach.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. You know us, Grambling and Southern folks have to look out for each other. We only don't like each other one weekend, and that's it. Everything else back to normal.
Back to normal. You said it.
All right, then. I appreciate it. It was great being here on Black College Experience. Always a great joy to talk to. I should call you a classmate or a colleague by now.
Exactly.
She does a great job of covering HBCU, not just Lane, but all the schools. So if you get an opportunity, reach out, follow her, and read her content. She does a great job just keeping it 100, and that's what I like about it.
Thank you so kindly. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.